Hi, Chantal and Marley coming to you from Cape Town. And this is not really Marley. This is a prototype of Marley that I built. This is day 4 of my self-quarantine after returning from the USA, and I'm trying to keep my spirits up by building prototypes of my team, having a lot of fun here and reflecting on how important human contact is. I wanted to read you a piece that is hugely meaningful for me, and if you haven't got the book, get the book Big Magic from Elizabeth Gilbert, and I want to read to you just two and a half pages about fear. So she says, the piece around the road trip. Here is how I've learned to deal with my fear. I made a decision a long time ago that if I want creativity in my life, and I do, then I will have to make space for fear too, plenty of space. I decided that I would need to build an expansive enough interior life that my fear and my creativity could peacefully coexist, since it appeared that they would not always be together. In fact, it seems to me that my fear and my creativity are basically conjoined twins, as evidenced by the fact that creativity cannot make a single step forward without fear marching right alongside it. Fear and creativity shared a womb. They were born at the same time. And they still share some vital organs. This is why we have to be careful of how we handle our fear. Because I've noticed that when people try to kill off their fear, they often end up inadvertently murdering their creativity in the process. So I don't try to kill off my fear. I don't want to go to war against it. Instead, I make all the space for it, heaps of space. Every single day, I'm making space for fear right now in this moment. I allow my fear to live and breathe and stretch out its legs comfortably. It seems to me that the less I fight my fear, the less it fights back. If I can relax, fear relaxes too. In fact, I cordially invite fear to come along with me everywhere I go. I even have a welcoming speech prepared for fear, which I deliver right before embarking upon any new project or big adventure. And when Elizabeth Gilbert wrote this, it was very much around fear and creativity coexisting. And I think just with what's happening at the moment, it's about fear and everything else in our lives coexisting. So see it in the context of the current situation. And I'm going to read you this welcoming speech that she gives to fear. Dearest fear, creativity and I are about to go on a road trip together. I understand that you'll be joining us because you always do. I acknowledge that you believe you have an important job to do in my life and that you take your job seriously. Apparently your job is to introduce complete panic whenever I'm about to do anything interesting. And may I say, you are superb at your job. So by all means, keep doing your job if you feel you must. But I will also be doing my job on this road trip, which is to work hard and stay focused. And creativity will be doing its job, which is to remain stimulating and inspiring. There's plenty of room in this vehicle for all of us. So make yourself at home, but understand this. Creativity and I are the only ones who will be making any decision along the way. I recognize and respect that you are part of this family, and so I will never exclude you from the activities, but still, your suggestions will never be followed. You're allowed to have a seat and you're allowed to have a voice, but you are not allowed to have a vote. You're not allowed to touch the roadmaps. You're not allowed to suggest detours. You're not allowed to fill with the temperature. Dude, you're not even allowed to touch the radio. But above all else, my dear old familiar friend, you are absolutely forbidden to drive. Then we head off together, me and creativity and fear, side by side, forever, advancing more and more into the terrifying but marvelous terrain of unknown outcome. And I think that's where we find ourselves, is with a lot of unknowns, with a lot of uncertainty. We will remain generous. We will keep the conversation going. And in the coming weeks, we want to create more and more opportunities for you as our community, our online community, to join us. And let's be on this road trip together. And let's invite curiosity and creativity. But let's not let fear drive the car on this road trip. I appreciate you, and I want to give a big shout out to my team who have been absolute rock stars during my almost week of quarantine. I care about you deeply, and you're doing amazing work.